To the caller's question, in terms of digging up streets and doing excavation, we have, with some of the larger pipes, afforded ourselves manned entry and using certain kinds of robotics and the like to get into the pipe to inspect them. And then on final analysis, some of the things, we're using some new material for inner lining of the pipe. We're using something called a fiber wrap, which is a resin and another type of material that goes inside the pipe, much the same as the in situ form process works, only it's designed for water pipe and keeps us from having to disturb so many people in the neighborhood by open cutting.
You used to run WASA, the Water Sewer Administration for the district, and
now call itself DC Water.
DC Water now. We all know, we hear that, well, we have an infrastructure problem in the country. Having been now in both places, how bad off, in what bad shape is our water system in general in the Washington metropolitan area for water and sewer? Are we in a period where we're going to keep fixing things for endless decades going forward? Are we 50% pretty good? Or we just got so much old infrastructure that we will never get out of this bind and we're going to constantly have these breaks? Are you sticking your thumb in the dike and we've got really zillions of problems?
And what needs to happen?
How bad is the overall picture? Because it sounds to me like there's unlimited amounts of money that could be spent. We would just be barely touching the problem.
And what needs to happen for you to have the money needed to maintain and upgrade infrastructure?
Yes. So how bad is the problem? How much money do you need?
Those are several very good questions. I thought we only had a brief period of time to work here today.
Yeah, well, we tricked you.
But overall,
tricked him again.
We are not in. This region is worse off than the rest of the country, or we're like old cities. It's not. Suburban places are getting to be just like old cities.
I think that we represent a microcosm of the country for cities and communities our age. The big distinction between Washington and WSSC service area in Montgomery and Prince George's County is that they have much newer communities and newer neighborhoods. But we have 5,500 miles of pipe in the 1,000-mile service area in Montgomery and Prince George's County for water, and a comparable number for size for wastewater. In the District of Columbia, it's about 1,300 and 1,800 respectively. So the order of magnitude is quite different. During the 60s, this pipe that we're talking about in Potomac was installed in a number of communities around the country, and I think at WSSC in Pinellas County, Florida, perhaps have some of the largest lengths and runs of this pipe. And it was determined even before some of it went into service that the pipe was defective. I also worked in Richmond for a time, and we had some of the pipe installed there and had a comparable problem in that community. So I think if you take that pipe, of which there's about 300 and some miles of it in our system, and separate that from the other pipe that's in the system, we have two different approaches. One is inspection and monitoring of the concrete pipe, of the type that we saw out in Potomac, of the type that was on River Road, and we should be completed with that inspection and monitoring process, have all of this cable installed in that by late 2012, 2013. The reason that it takes us that period of time is because you can only take certain elements of the system out of service at any one point in time, and in order to completely provide the service that our customers are expecting. So that's being done on the one hand. With respect to other pipes that are 16 inches and smaller, we're doing a massive replacement program, and that's based on the age of the pipe, its break history, the type of pipe that it might be, improvements that might be occurring in a general community and the like, so that we can go in and work in coordination with that city or town or community to get those corrected. So right now, last year we did about 39 miles of water main and about 18 miles of sewer main in replacements. We're looking to do a comparable number in the coming year, probably maybe 36 and 20 some miles. And then what we're looking to do is ramp up to about 50 miles per year, 55 miles per year, or 1% of the system.
If that's a microcosm.
We are in an endless cycle of trying to fix something.
200 years.
200 years. You hear that? 200 years.
If that's a microcosm of what's happening around the nation, how much is it costing?
Well, it's the cost is phenomenal. Our total capital budget for this coming year is about $490 million. But that includes a number of other projects besides the water mains, and I don't have that precise number here with me. But EPA has placed the gap. That's the number between the number that's planned to be spent and the number of dollars that's actually being spent in the water system over the next 20 years at some $500 billion. So when you look at that as the gap, and then we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars, there is a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done. The problem here with water mains,
And we only have about a minute left,
is that it's out of sight and out of mind. You can see the bridge structure when it's coming down, you can see the rail line, but you just don't see these pipes and see their condition that's under the ground.